Right then, this Saturday we've got a very good and very underrated world title fight. Emanuel Navarrete versus Sugar Núñez. Massive fight in my opinion. It's one I'm really looking forward to. It's also really 50-50. It's a very 50-50 fight, which I can see going both ways. It's an interesting one. I mean, I'm going to talk through. I think there's cases for both winning, which I am going to be putting forward. But this has got all the ingredients to be an absolute war. Um, Sugar Nunes has got 27 knockouts. Navarrete has got 32 knockouts. It's going to be an absolute war, this fight, let's be honest here. And I'm hoping we see a knockout, and I reckon we will see a knockout from one of them. They both have the ability to knock each other out, and we could see a few knockdowns. It could be a fight which is swinging both ways throughout the fight, but then eventually one of them gets to the other. But if I look at Navarrete, first of all, we'll talk about Navarrete. You know, works very awkward angles. That is something. And I think the angles he works, I think it's something that Sugar Nunes hasn't really seen before. We've seen Sugar Nunes up against a load of good slick boxers, and Sugar Nunes is precious being able to deal with them pretty nicely. And Sugar Nunes is very calculated, and I do think he's more calculated than Navarrete. But talking about Navarrete and his angles, it's so awkward. It is very awkward. He just drowns you with those angles, and you just don't know where his shots are coming from. He is very unorthodox, and I don't think Sugar Nunes has seen someone as unorthodox as Navarrete. Sugar Nunes likes up close in the pocket. Navarrete will happily stand in the pocket and fight Sugar Nunes there, no problem whatsoever. And if he is getting success, which he will do, Sugar Nunes is not going to see a lot coming. Navarrete is very awkward, very unorthodox, and he's unorthodox to a very high level as well, which is something which I just don't think Sugar Nunes has seen yet. But I think with Navarrete, I think he's gonna make it awkward for Sugar Nunes trying to plant his feet, because Sugar Nunes loves to plant his feet when he's throwing because he's a power puncher. And Navarrete, I feel like, brings something to Sugar Nunes which possibly can make sure he just doesn't set, and Navarrete just might not let Sugar Nunes settle in there at any point in the fight whatsoever. I think it's going to be interesting, and Nunes could struggle to land some clean counters here, in my opinion, if Navarrete is unable to let him settle. I think a big thing is Navarrete is more experienced at the higher level than what Sugar Nunes is. I do think he has got a better resume. I think most people would agree. Will it matter lows on the night? I don't know. Both guys are world champions, but reality is I don't think Sugar Nunes has been at the elite level that Navarrete has been at. And again, experience is a lot, and I think it's something which definitely favours Navarrete going into this fight. I think as well, things from both guys are body work. Both guys love to work the body. Navarrete, though, brutal body puncher. Brutal body puncher. Um, Sugar Nunes is going to be giving body shots. He's going to be taking some big ones back. How's he going to deal with that? Because Sugar Nunes has not fought a body puncher like Navarrete. Sugar Nunes has not fought someone who's going to work the body as much as Navarrete is. And again, remember how unorthodox Navarrete is when he's throwing his hooks. We could see him catch Sugar Nunes with some brutal, unpredictable hooks to the body, which takes the bloody wind out of him. It's interesting. It really is interesting. If Navarrete is to win this fight, then I reckon it could be via stoppage. And, I'd probably say the same for Sugar Nunes. But I reckon if Navarrete is to win, I reckon it could be late where he breaks Sugar Nunes down, in my opinion. But I mean, two Mexicans going at it, absolutely huge, though. Anyway, we then go on to my case for Sugar Núñez winning this fight. And again, power advantage wise, both guys hit hard. Power advantage wise, I do give it to Sugar Núñez. I do give it to Sugar Núñez. The guy is bloody relentless in there, absolutely relentless. The shots that he sets up are unbelievable. I feel like his pressure is very good and very calculated. You know, he throws when he knows he's going to land. He's very, very, very accurate when he throws. And that is why he is so brutal. And that is why his power is so good. And I think a big thing here as well is when Navarrete attacks, because he's unorthodox, so I think a big thing though is what Sugar Núñez can really use into his game. Navarrete leaves himself open quite a lot when he's throwing his hooks, I think. You know, I feel like he does leave himself wide open, which I do think creates a lot of opportunities and a lot of openings for Sugar Núñez in this fight, in my opinion. If Sugar Núñez catches Navarrete clean down the pipe while he's leaving an opening, he's going to hurt Navarrete bad. He's going to hurt him badly. And Sugar Núñez, I do expect to be favouring counter punches when he is coming forward. And it's interesting to see who will be on the front foot. But I think, you know, when he fought Christopher Diaz in his last fight, I think Sugar Núñez showed us a bit more. He can fight going backwards decent. But both guys are going to have moments on the front foot here. When Sugar Núñez does, I feel like he's going to look to, you know, again, he's very calculated with his pressure, much more calculated than what Navarrete is. So I do think, again, when Navarrete leaves himself open, when he is coming in swinging wild at times, Sugar Núñez calculated. He can find a big shot down the middle quite a few times, and I feel like he's gonna make it hard for Navarrete to switch up. With Navarrete, I don't think there's much of a plan B or plan C. So if Sugar Núñez can catch him cold, then I feel like it could turn into continue being a consistent theme in the fight. I think as well, again, the timing that Sugar Núñez has got, I think a lot of the time it can break a lot of unpredictability. It really can. The timing of Sugar Núñez eventually will take him time to time Navarrete. And Navarrete will cause some problems while Sugar Núñez will do it. And I do think Sugar Núñez is very capable of weathering a Navarrete stall. But once Sugar Núñez gets that time in, Navarrete could be in big trouble again. He really could. The timing beats the chaos. And, you know, I think a lot of the time in this fight, we are going to see Sugar Núñez will be the much cleaner puncher than what Navarrete will be. And that is something huge in which can win Sugar Núñez the fight. So, if I'm not going to lie here, if this fight is to go the distance, then I'd probably say Sugar Núñez is more likely to win a decision than what Navarrete is. I trust Sugar Núñez to win a decision more than I do Navarrete to win a decision. Either way, though, I do think that if Sugar Núñez is to win, I would probably say more likely via stoppage, though, as well. I think both guys are more likely to win via stoppage. But if there is to be a decision win, and if you do put money on the decision win, then Sugar Núñez, I think, would be the man to do so. So I think it's interesting. I feel like it is very, very interesting. I do think, again, knockdowns more likely to come from Sugar Núñez. I do think knockdowns are more likely to come from Sugar Núñez in this fight than Navarrete. Again, both guys hit hard, but I trust the timing of Sugar Núñez. I trust the power of Sugar Núñez more. Overall, I am going to be picking Sugar Núñez to win this fight. I am. Again, 50-50 could go either way, but I feel like you've got to pick Sugar Núñez to win. I do think he can eventually stop and break Navarrete. I do. I think it could be late rounds 9, 10. I'm going to say that Sugar Núñez gets the job done here via stoppage. But very interesting fight. Very interesting fight. But I'm going to say Sugar Núñez gets the job done.